What's going on, team? It's Ricky with TechBit Solutions, and very unfortunate news, which means that crude oil went negative. A lot of you guys might have heard crude oil as a whole is just aggressively selling off. A lot of people are asking, are overall gas prices, going to drop at the stations? What's to come and what's next for crude oil? One of the first things that I want you guys to understand is that this shouldn't come at much of a surprise. This is actually crude oil that I have, or the crude oil future that I have in the back. And as you guys can see, for the past 180 days, it's been consistently selling off. I am going to be sharing my opinion in this video, and feel free to share your own opinion down in the comment section. On top of that, a lot of people have been asking for my opinion about what stocks and what ETFs, if you want to invest in crude oil, that you can look into. One of the things that I want to remind you is just because I talk about a stock or an ETF in this video does not mean that you should invest in it. It just means that, again, there's nothing wrong with breaking it down, performing your own technical analysis, and analyzing it to see if it's actually an investment worth taking based off of your own criteria. So what I want to talk about first is, why is crude oil selling off? Like many of you guys know, there's been very unfortunate news when it came down to the overall oil war between Saudi Arabia and Russia. That's what I think sparked the initial very aggressive drop. Ever since the pandemic, overall demand for oil has been down, and this shouldn't come at much of a surprise. So what I want you guys to understand is the reason that oil went negative today is it means that the actual physical suppliers and producers of crude oil itself are actually paying people to take the oil off their hands, meaning that, just to keep it in super simple terms, there is more oil being produced than there is demand for it. Therefore, their overall storage facilities are getting maxed out. And if I'm not mistaken, one of the articles that I read, that again I will link down below, they pretty much have 1 month before they meet max capacity. And this is very scary and very unfortunate. And what one of the analysts said is that they better figure out a way on how to get rid of this oil, meaning that other people are being paid to store this oil, or things are going to get very, very bad. So what I do want to remind you is, with all this very negative news, for long-term investors in crude oil, it's up to you if you want to decide to invest in crude oil or oil in general right now. There is no question that oil itself is very oversold, but one of the ideas that I want to remind you is, again, things can get worse before they even get better. If I'm not mistaken, one of the articles that I read between the oil war of Saudi Arabia and Russia is that these specific countries say that they have enough capital to make this last 5 to 6 years for one of the other countries to come up with an agreement. So what I want to remind you is that for all those long-term investors, or the people that are going long in oil, again, if you don't want to get caught in the bottom and have your overall investment continue to lose value, all I want to remind you is to begin to inform yourself about what needs to happen for oil to actually begin to increase in price. Because obviously for the past 180 days, there is no question that even if you bought, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and today is no different, there is no question that it aggressively sold off. So maybe for day traders, this might be a little bit different, but for long-term investors, it just looks, the overall outlook and longevity of how long it might actually take for things to get better, again, looks like things might get worse before they get any better. But with that being said, I wanted to talk about ETFs and inverse ETFs, because UWT and DWT are no longer traded. What ETFs am I paying attention to? I'm just going to list the ETFs very quickly, and on top of what specific oil companies am I watching. And don't even just stop there. Please take time, do a little bit more of your research, and build a watch list. This is a perfect opportunity where you can begin to inform yourself, because you're not missing out on anything, because oil is still dropping. Although oil is in a good deal area, just because something is a good deal doesn't mean it's a good buy. Yes, it can continue to drop. So with that being in mind, there is nothing wrong with taking this off time, or taking this extra time that you might have to begin to inform yourself about what oil stocks or what oil ETFs you might want to add to your watch list to potentially invest in. Again, nothing in life worth having will ever come easy, and this is no exception. Again, with great opportunity comes great responsibility, and what I want to list here are just a series of stocks and a series of ETFs that I'm paying attention to, and feel free to do the same down in the comment section. So the 5 stocks that I want to list in this video are CVX, BP, XOM, OXY, RYDAF, and then the 2 ETFs. The long ETF, the one that's actually selling off right now, is United States Oil, and it's USO. The inverse ETF that performed exceptionally well, I believe it increased over 33% today, is DTO. So please, before you even get into the idea of trading ETFs and inverse ETFs, I really hope that you have a general understanding of how they work. For all the people that come from a background of trading UGAs and DGAs, you might be a little bit more you might be a little bit more well versed with this, but again, at the end of the day, this is a different commodity and it's a different monster within itself. So just make sure that you do your part and inform yourself about what can act as a both positive and negative catalyst for this specific commodity. So I do agree with a lot of you that it is very unfortunate that crude oil is aggressively selling off. But the great thing about this is that if you were not already invested in crude oil, you can at least take this as a reminder on, hey, we're presented with a commodity that is at a overall low since 1983. So with that being said, if you're interested in it and if you're eager to learn more, why not build a watch list about crude oil ETFs and crude oil stocks that you might want to invest in if crude oil itself begins to recover. Something that, again, might be worth learning more about long term. So let me know in the comment section what you guys think. I wanted to make this very simple video. List the stocks that I'm paying attention to, list the ETF and inverse ETF that I'm watching. And with that being said, ask you guys, what do you think about crude oil? Do you think it's going to continue to drop? Or do you think that it's in the very early stages of an overall reversal? Let me know down in the comment section. Don't forget to stay connected. That's gonna be that second link down below. If you guys wanna join our free investing group, we're the largest one on Facebook with over 260,000 members. And again, that is that second link down below. I hope that it earned your thumbs up. Don't forget to smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you get notified every single time that I upload a new video. Feel free to browse around. I have nearly 2,000 videos on this channel, so make sure if you're an absolute beginner, take time, explore what it is that we have to offer, and when you're ready to join our Learn, Plan, Profit team to watch me trade live, click that third link down below, learn a little bit more about it, and if you're ready to watch me trade live every single day, you can see if the Learn, Plan, Profit team is a good fit for you. Like always, team, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.